Where's my pen? Hi, how are you? Today what I'm going to talk about is the difference between guitar tab and standard notation and why standard notation is better. Now you might think that because with the tab showing all of the frets that you need to press down to play the notes, that it's a lot easier. Because with the standard notation, what you have to do is know that when you write a dot either between the lines or on the line, you have to know the name of that note and where it's located on the guitar. Now with the tab, of course, each one of these lines represents a string, and you just have to write down the number of the fret on that string where you place your finger. So I believe that standard notation can give you a lot better, more useful information if you go to the trouble of actually learning how to read it. So let me explain. Now you probably recognize that as old MacDonald, and this is how it's written in standard notation. Now if you want to write this in tab, this is how it's written. So what you notice here is we've used the string numbers and the fret numbers, and that shows us exactly where we want to play the notes on the fretboard. Now you could actually play this in different positions along the fretboard, and I'll show you that. If I know how to read the notes on the fretboard, I can take a look at this and think, okay, that's a C, okay, that's a G, that's an A, that's a G, and that's an E. Okay, so I know that C is there, and I know that the G is there, and I know that the A is there, and I know that there's an E right there. So I can easily play that. But the problem there is you have to know the fretboard and you have to know what these notes mean. That's not the problem really, because you can just learn it, just like you learned the tab, just like you learned to play the guitar. It's just another skill that you need to learn. And it's not hard if you take it step by step. And actually, here's a little plug for my course on Udemy. If you play guitar for a little while and you want to know the notes along the fretboard, then you can take my Guitar Fretboard Secrets course. If you go down below and go to guitarbasement.com, you'll see the link for that. And you also find a link to fingerstyle guitar and read music course that you can also find on Udemy with a discount coupon that you find with the link. Now what I've done is I've written the tab to show that other position that I played this in. So what you do then is you follow this on the third string. You got there's your third string. Then there's another fret there on the fifth fret of the fourth string, and then the seventh fret, and then you got the second string, fifth fret. Well, that's all well and good, but what if I wanted to do that, but I wanted to have a different fingering? For example, what if I wanted to go like that, just so I could get that C chord at the end of it, but I wanted to indicate that on the music. Well, the tab is not very good at that. So what could I do? I could put some fingering there above it and have all these numbers there. Well, that's not really very practical, but what I can do on the standard notation is put some numbers on here to show very clearly how to play this. Let me show you that. So now there are several ways in standard notation that I can show you the fingering. The first one is if I use a bar like that. So what I can do is use the letter B for bar. It's sometimes C, but in this case I'm using a B, and then you would put a Roman numeral for the fret, which is fret 5. So it would be like this. So that would indicate that you have a bar on the 5th fret. So that would continue for the whole passage actually. Now if I wanted to change this, as I was saying before, I want to shift position, put my hand in another position. Now I've got something else I can use. I can use this again. I could say bar on the 2nd fret, but that's actually not too practical in this case because I don't really need a bar. So there's another way I can use, and that is by using circled numbers. Now circled numbers, what they mean is if this is on the 3rd string, which we're playing on, what we can do is put a number 3 with a circle. And then I could also use the number 1. So I could put a number 1 right there just to indicate that I want to use that finger. All right, and this could also be, I could also use a number 1 there. This is not necessarily the way I would write this, but I'm just showing you this as a possibility. Now this will be the 3rd finger, if I wanted to use the 3rd finger. So you can put the fingers right next to the dots. Now that would give us a good opportunity over here, since we're playing this E on the 2nd string, and put a number 2 right there. And then I could use a number 4 over here. You can see that. All right, so that would be very clear that it's on the 2nd string. You would have to know that the E is right there. But you'd also know that you're using the 4th finger, which is far superior to this, which just shows you the fret. It could be any finger. All right, so having done that, then I could put the other fingering for the other ones. I could put 2 for that one, right? And then the last note could be on the 3rd string, like that. And that would be also the 4th finger. All right, so that's another way to do this. What you typically do is put the bare minimum that can show you how to play it, and the rest of it you can kind of interpret. For example, you wouldn't put a 1 next to each one of these. You'd understand that that would be the same finger. So in reality, don't you think this is a much better system? I certainly do. And although it takes a little bit of learning, it's very flexible and it's very easy to show you the positions. And if you're marking up a piece of music that you found that's written in standard notation, this is a very easy way to indicate the way that you want to play it. All right, so now let me explain the 3 reasons that I think standard notation is the best. Number 1 is you can clearly show the timing. It's one thing I didn't mention, but here's the timing. You've got quarter notes, half notes, and so on that you can use. In the tab, I know that there's a system where you can put some stems and so on, but I think standard notation is far superior there. Now, secondly, you don't need to rewrite the notes if you want to change the position on the guitar. You can actually write the music first, and then you can figure out the fingering after. And you can indicate the fingering using the things that I've showed you. The circle notes, meaning that you're playing on a particular string, and the other numbers to show the actual fingering, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's easy. The 3rd reason is that it is easy to show the bars, the barring, and the fingering as I mentioned, and then on which string the notes are played. So those are the 3 key advantages of standard notation. Plus, many other instrumentalists can read this and you can exchange music from them or to them. And now, if you want to learn standard notation, this is a great channel to subscribe to, where you get interesting information like this, book reviews, exercises, and whatever else I can come up with to keep you interested in learning standard notation. So remember, hit that subscribe button if you want to be updated whenever I post a new video. The other thing is, if you know some musicians and you're looking for something cool, you can check out my website. I've got a page there of cool stuff that's good for musicians. And here's one. It's not just for musicians, but it is pretty cool. Now, it might look just like a notebook to you, but this is a rocket book, and it has special pens that you can write that are erasable. And the very cool thing about this is that you can actually put this in the microwave. You leave it in there and it completely erases the whole book, and then you can start all over again. The other thing about this is that if you want to take pictures of all the notes that you've got in here, when you take a picture using their software that's free, you can circle a symbol down the bottom, and then that will actually put it in a particular folder that you set up, you designate, so that you can keep all your notes and then stick it in the microwave and erase it, and you're done. So that's it for this time. And remember, stay tuned, and I look forward to seeing you soon.